Oh, okay.
All right. So now that you've had time to explore the UDL guidelines, oh, and welcome back, Cass. We are going to talk about how we use them during our revision process of the toolkit. So after the toolkit was published in August 2020, we returned to it in January 2021 to revisit the activities and revise them from a UDL perspective. We wanted to ensure that the activities were as inclusive and accessible as possible. And also we just feel like regular revision of any materials that we use with students is really important. So first we went through each activity individually with the UDL rubric. You can see our notes here and how both of us approached it. Faith likes handwritten notes and I'm the one on the left who did it on the computer. Then during our bi-weekly meetings, we shared our notes and discussed what revisions we wanted to make. We divided up tasks and checked back in at the next meeting to make sure all revisions were complete. And we usually worked on 2 to 3 activities at a time. We felt like that was a manageable amount so that this process didn't take a zillion years, but that also it wasn't too much to do before our next meeting. We found the collaborative process to be helpful, but you can easily do it on your own as well.
Okay, so now we wanted to give you an opportunity to practice using the UDL guidelines to revise an activity. So we took one of our pre-revised activities from our toolkit, and we'll be sharing that in the chat for you to take a look at and see what changes you might make using the UDL guidelines. And we'll ask you to share your suggestions in a Padlet. In the spirit of multiple means of engagement from our UDL guidelines, we're going to be sharing both a Word document and a link to a Google Doc. The Google Doc has a limit of only 100 people, but we are not bigger than that. So if everybody chooses to use Google, that should be fine. But yes, pick whichever one is easiest for you. You've got multiple options. And then we've got we will be sharing a link to this Padlet momentarily. There you go. So you can share within the different columns of the guidelines what changes or adjustments you might make to this lesson plan.
Pardon me, there were gateway issues and I wasn't able to access. How long has your session been running?
We started at 11.
Oh, thank you.
So I know some people were coming in a little later. We'll give you one more minute or a couple more minutes to share. But I just want to start reviewing this feedback. This is awesome. So we have a few different people highlighting. We'll start with engagement. So making it more student-centric, assigning something asynchronous to start, asking what voice is missing from the search results. Absolutely. Groups, opportunities for reflection, including images. Why even use one search? So what is the purpose? Absolutely. Scaffolding, additional scaffolding, making the wording more accessible. So the use of natural language. Under representation, we have screenshots, making it more accessible, heading markers, and for screen reader compliance, clarify what keywords means, providing more background information to help students with comprehension, about how to just navigate to the library website, defining terms, provide models or examples, pre-teach the jargon, so another talking about that language as well. And under action and expression, allow students to answer with type words or screenshots, offer another way to fill out the worksheet, offer other versions of the worksheet, ask students what they found challenging to identify barriers, enhance capacity to monitor progress. And appropriate goal setting. The 50 to 20 minutes. Absolutely. When we look back, we're like, what were we thinking? This is so helpful. So I'm going to share, or we're going to share version 2, the things that we identified. But I have to say and I thought this was going to be the case. I'm very inspired now to go back, and we do want to do another round of revisions, and we are absolutely going to save these and incorporate these ideas because these are so helpful. This crowdsourcing of feedback, we're really grateful for it. So yes, here you can see, we won't, let's see, we don't need to go through the whole thing, but you're welcome to look at it. So when we went through the revision process, for this particular assignment, we added goal and reflection questions. We created a Google form, added screenshots and hyperlinks, revised the questions, and added a worked example at the end of the document. Just more broadly, some trends that we saw when we were revising were adding a lot of goal and reflection questions, creating multiple modes of engagement, such as Word documents, Google Docs, Google Forms, etc. We also used, I'm blanking on the Microsoft whiteboard. It might just be called, something, that tool as well. Adding multiple options for perception by providing text and visuals. That was a big area that we realized we could grow in. So those are just some general things. But like I said, I'm excited to take all this feedback and keep working on our toolkit. So now we have one more question. And we'd like to hear how the process went using the UDL guidelines to suggest revisions to the lesson. So if you could share your thoughts in the chat about how that went, if you were new to it, if this is something that you use all the time, we would love to hear how that process went for you. And if it's something that you, like I said, if you do it all the time, or if it's something that you might consider starting to use. Yeah, it seems like people find it helpful. And I have absolutely been there. Lizzy, you do an audit and then you're like, okay, I'm good, I did it. Or you just forget.
It is.
Yes. Yeah, it is being recorded. It might be in multiple pieces, but
we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for sharing. So we also just wanted to share some of our the future work we want to do. We don't view this toolkit as being finished necessarily because we feel like it's important that it's a living resource. We want to be able to revisit it, refresh it, and revise it appropriately so that the materials in it don't get stale. So we also want to continue to share it and grow its reach. And we also want to add some activities that were created by some of our instructional faculty members. We were able to do some professional development workshops with them through our Teaching and Learning Center. And as part of that, they submitted activities. And there were some really great ones, especially around using and evaluating sources that we want to talk to them about including. So someone asked earlier about the faculty we reached out to. Originally, it was just our library folks. But we're hoping to incorporate more input from campus folks. And lastly, we'd love to publish more of our activities in public repositories like ACRL Sandbox and Project Cora. Some of these activities are already in those repositories. Some of them came from them, but we want to look at some of the ones that were locally created and share them more broadly. And we put a Creative Commons license on there so that, you know, if faculty are in the toolkit, they wouldn't have any questions about whether or not they could modify things and, you know, adjust them to suit their needs.
So a few takeaways for you. Curricular toolkit creation doesn't have to be a huge impossible job, even though it might seem like it at the start. So even just creating a small set of activities and lessons that can be adapted to different instructional situations is useful. It could be internal or external for students or for faculty. We have often shared our toolkit with new colleagues, and we draw on it and modify the activities in our own instruction quite often. Creating the toolkit has also encouraged the sharing of best practices among our colleagues. So previously, our department was more siloed. That also had to do with the structure of the library. But for those who use it, the toolkit has helped us learn more from each other. And importantly, a curricular toolkit provides supplemental support in addition to librarian instruction, consultation, and resource development. So I know some people we're concerned about that. So this is not something that's replacing any of the work that we do, but we feel that it's adding to it and helping improve those relationships that we have with teaching faculty. We still do one-shots all the time, but building the toolkit has helped us move beyond the one-shot for some programs, courses, and departments, which we've been really excited about. So also reflecting on UDL revision, it can be valuable for your existing instruction activities like we used it for today, digital learning objects, and more. So it can be applied in a lot of different situations to improve accessibility and learning for all users. And here are our references. As Faith said, we'll be sharing the slides as well, so you can take a look at those later. If you're interested. And please feel free to contact us. Our emails are there and we'd love to hear from you. And also please feel free to use this resource yourself. If it's helpful to you, we would be very happy to share it in that way. And I think we're ready for questions.
I want to start by just saying thank you both. I'm trying to get myself, there we go, added spotlight. Okay, great. We do have a few questions. Unfortunately, I'm going to just say very quickly that we have just till 11:50, so we'll try to get through as many of these as possible. The first question is, are there gaps that you'd like to flesh out? That is, topics, areas that aren't represented in your librarian's teaching, but that your instructional learning team would like to see teaching expand into?
I think one of the activities that I got really excited about from our teaching faculty is there was a really, really cool paraphrasing activity that I feel like we don't get as much, as many requests for the using sources category. It's something we're kind of starting to see more of. And I feel like maybe if we had a little bit more to sort of encourage, they might come for that a little bit more. I don't know if there's an area for you, Lizzy.
I think that also developing topics and research questions is another area that we would like to grow. You know, I'm sure that other people have this experience too. Finding and evaluating sources is probably the major, that's where we come in the research process a lot for one-shots, but I'd love to work and develop our resources more for tools in the beginning of it.
Then another question is, when using the UDL license, I'm assuming they did license, they wrote lens, or maybe lens. Would you break things down like the 1 hour research topic video into shorter steps and videos?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So chunking content, that is something, yeah, that we would want to, that is helpful from the UDL guidelines to encourage us to do.
This next question would be grouped with the one after. So I'm going to ask a quick technical question. Are you going to leave the Padlet open? There's such good ideas in it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We can leave it if other people find it helpful.
Okay, and then this question is sort of a two-part question I'm mixing. So do you know anything about which faculty have used your toolkit? How do you know? And do you know how faculty find the toolkit and then reach out to you? Or has it mostly been that you share and reach out to faculty directly?
We share it a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of like, hey, do you have anything for this? And we're like, search here, see what works. Or just like, I don't know, whenever I would do outreach when I was a liaison librarian, I'd be like, you can request instruction. And also here's this toolkit. And so I push it a lot.
Yeah, and as Faith mentioned, we taught through our Center for Equity and Excellence in Teaching and Learning, CEDL. We had a module in one of their courses, and it was centered around the toolkit. And so the faculty adapted lesson plans from the toolkit as part of it, or shared resources that they had. So that was a major way that we did outreach. And also at the time I was the education librarian. And so I know that some education instructors did it, and Faith was worked with nursing and a lot of the science departments. And so
I will say one piece of feedback that we did get from some people that we were like, here, look at this, use this. They were like, it's great, but it's a lot to go through. And especially our lecturer faculty, our adjunct faculty, like don't have the time to do that. They get given a course like the day before they teach it. So we actually worked with Com 150, which is like a, 80 section every semester required gen ed class, to sort of pick out based on what they kind of told us they needed for that course. We were like, okay, here are 2 options for topics, here are 2 options for evaluating, here are 2, and kind of helped even narrow, because we intentionally kept it small. We were like only so many activities, so it's not overwhelming. So it was interesting to sort of hear that they were still like, oh boy, that's a lot. So we kind of curated even further for that particular audience, since they were able to share with us what they were looking for.
So I think to a degree what you just said answers this question a bit, but I want to ask it in case there's anything else you want to say to it, which is, have you gotten feedback about using the toolkit in the disciplines, for example, business?
Not much. We haven't talked much with business folks. I've gotten some positive, like, that's a great resource from business folks on like a committee I'm on, but like,
I think they just want business as an example. They're just talking about, do you have,
yeah. I mean, I used it a little bit. I definitely got good feedback from the health sciences, but again, it was more me pushing.
we also have, we just did a presentation to the English department and shared with them as well. And so they were interested in, oh, Faith, what was it? Reading sources. So the activities on that page in particular, they were really interested and excited about incorporating into their classes, and source types as well, which I think is under,
I don't know if that's, I guess to answer the earlier question, that's an area we would like to expand upon, is not just finding sources, but like engaging with different source types. Like what information do we find in particular types of sources? What's the information? How do we match the information source and the information need? That's something that we don't have that came up when we were talking to English. That's something to include.
Well, there are no more questions in the queue, and considering we're probably at the end of 48 minutes and moving on to 49 and right close to time, I just want to open the floor for both of you to just say your final thoughts that you think you want to share. Anything that maybe nobody asked but just popped in your head from talking, or anything you want everyone to know. They're thanking you in the chat, which is good and appropriate because this has been very, very insightful.
I would just add one more sort of next step. We're hoping, and we've seen some evidence that this is helping faculty sort of work information literacy into their curriculum. And then our like next big goal, our next step is to then work it, across courses, right? So if we can know that folks are getting this established in some of the lower division courses where Lizzy and I are both now focusing, we'd love to see that then allow our colleagues in the disciplines be able to do more advanced work once they get in there. That's the like really big long-term vision.
Any last thought, Lizzy?
Oh, no, just thank you all for coming and for bearing with us throughout the technical difficulties. It was really nice to talk with you all today, and I hope that the rest of the conference goes well, and I'm sure I'll see people in other sessions.
Yeah, thank you all.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. We do have this recorded thanks to the quick action of our amazing presenters who also co-recorded. So I think we have 3 simultaneous recordings at some point. We will mesh these together so that you can have that. They will be sharing their material so you can reflect. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lizzy and Faith, for sharing your knowledge with us. Obviously, people were very much interested. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your sessions. It was a pleasure to have you both. It was a pleasure to have everyone in the room. Good day and goodbye.